Hello, welcome back to Star Trek Sodium. We have the original series episode, The Naked Time, and I'm going to get straight into some facts for it that you didn't even know. Some say that Gene Roddenberry got the idea for the name of the episode from when he found his house had been burgled and the gold plating from his mantelpiece carriage clock had been taken, but that has since been found to be untrue. It's a testament to the writing skills of John Black that he could write this impressive script, having not ever seen a single episode of Star Trek yet. He successfully writes Captain Kirk as the captain of the ship, with minimal background knowledge. This could be down to either the fact that no episodes of Star Trek had been aired yet at the time of writing this script, because it was the start of the show, or due to his perceptive intuition. Either way, we're lucky to have John Black on the script writing duty. John Black would go on to write the sequel episode for Star Trek Next Generation, The Naked Now, as well as the Season 1 favourite, Justice, which thankfully has the Wesley person getting in deep trouble at last. The first version of the script for The Naked Time possibly didn't feature Spock at all. The writer had thought that Spock wasn't an important character, and so didn't include he in the initial story. Gene Roddenberry allegedly had to take the writer aside and tell him under the threat of violence that Spock must be included no matter what. Speaking of Spock, this soapy episode is the one that inspired the creation of the famous Spock helmet, which would go on to puzzle and bring delight to fans in the future. During the production of Naked Time, an unsecured piece of lumber fell from atop of the set, breaking off the head of one of the actors on the Enterprise. To make sure this wasn't going to happen again, all large and heavy pieces of the set were to be securely fitted in place, and the tragic accident highlighted the importance of needing an important helmet in any zone featuring loose fittings. This led to the Star Trek helmet going into production, as it would not only help the public to be more safe, but it could be an optional extra for actors on set who may be weary about dangerous set design. For some reason, though, it was barely seen at all on camera during the episodes of Star Trek.
Sulu, at last.
Sulu, put that thing away.
For honor. We.
Those of you who have looked closely would surely have noticed that Sulu takes his top off at one stage, showing off his physical body. This nearly didn't happen though, as when first asked to remove his top, he possibly was discovered to have feathers. This is exactly why Sulu wasn't seen with his top off during the episodes which came before this, as he was only allowed to film the topless sword-wielding scenes when he had the feathers taken care of. One observation that Gene Roddenberry had made about his new captain, James Kirk, was that he had a very low head. At first, neither Gene nor the casting team had noticed, but once on stage, Kirk's low head was plain to see to everyone. Production ground to a halt while the producers tried to think of a solution so obvious it had been staring them right in the face all along. All they had to do was make changes to the captain's shoes, to his back and his waist and his neck and to the top of his head, using a new phase of prosthetics. It was during the production of this episode that the Star Trek horse got loose and caused all manner of havoc in the studio while the actors were trying to film. Documents possibly uncovered recently list some of the problems caused by the loose horse as catering table knocked over, personal clothing of the actors smeared with muck, lighting rigs pushed out of position, ice skates snapped, and the final indignity was that William Shatner, who had claimed to be a horse-riding expert, had failed to bring the crazed mare back under control despite his sedate pace and hesitance. Filming of The Naked Time had been so tricky, partly due to some of the things that I've just talked about, that production took over 400 days in total. Gene Roddenberry would go on to possibly say in a Lost interview that everyone involved promised to never make an episode again that took this long once it had finished, as it had been such a crucial project from beginning to the end. The wife of NBC's president was visiting the set of Star Trek during the filming of The Naked Time, and everyone was happy to see her and to make her feel at home. But what they didn't realise, though, is that she was one of these devout Amish women, and she dismissed most of what went on in the studio as witchcraft. Rumour has it that she was shaking with fear at what she'd seen in the studio and reported back to her husband, who thankfully wasn't completely mad like her. It was Uhura's birthday during the filming of this instant classic, and if you look closely during one of the early scenes on the bridge, you can see a birthday card behind her, which was given to her by the Scotty actor. The Sulu actor possibly tried to get her into trouble by dobbing her into the producers for leaving a card out, but thankfully Gene Roddenberry himself allegedly quelled the situation by telling everyone that in the future of space travel they'll all have birthday cards, just like in the current day. Thanks ever so much for learning all about The Naked Time. Such a good episode and such a good bunch of facts. I'll catch you next time, hopefully for some more facts about Star Trek. All the best, subscribe for some more facts, leave a comment underneath if you've got any facts that I didn't quite catch, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ta!